Let's head back to our main story today now in Liberia, where at least 27 children have been killed in a fire at a boarding school in Monrovia. We have a Liberian journalist, Evelyn Sibe, who joins us from the location of that tragic accident. Evelyn, what's the latest? What are you hearing?
Well, as you see, I'm right before the mosque, the central mosque here in Monrovia, where the funeral service has taken place for all of the 27 victims of the fire incident. So families, the Muslim communities, they have all come here to sympathize with the Muslims and all those that died in the fire. The president was here earlier today to say sorry to the Muslim and even the families of the victims.
Well, what do we know so far about the cause of the fire?
I spoke with the Liberian National Police spokesman, Moses Carter, earlier today before coming here at the mosque. He told me that the fire was caused by an electrical shock, according to him, but preliminary investigation so far has proven that it was as a result of electrical shock on the building.
Well, what more can you tell us about the victims and, of course, their families at this, very tragic time?
Of course, it is a sad moment for the family, the victims' family, some of whom haven't been able to come in close contact with. But I managed to talk to other people who came here at the mosque, and they said to us that, it's not necessarily their family members, but the fact that these children are Liberians, this situation or this incident hurts the entire country. So everyone is disturbed, from the government to the ordinary people in the streets, in every corner. People are discussing, the people are looking at photographs on film, on social media. The country is actually sad today.
Yeah, give us an update on the death toll. We know officials say that they were still searching the building for more bodies. Has any more bodies been found? Is the death toll still at 27?
Yeah, currently it stands at 27 because according to the police spokesman, that's the number they have currently laid their hands on, 27 victims so far. We don't know whether there are other people, but the information is that there were more children in the home. There were more than 27. So currently there are 2 survivors. The 2 survivors are now at the hospital receiving medical care, according to the police spokesman. 2 survivors so far. There hasn't been any new recovery of any body for now.
Thanks, Evelyn. We're wishing, praying for the families at this very tragic time. Thank you for speaking to us on Network Africa. Evelyn Sibe, Liberian journalist. Moving on, the second batch of Nigerian evacuees has finally left South Africa after a long wait from Tuesday. 314 evacuees and the head of the Immigration and Consular Matters at Nigeria's Consulate General in Johannesburg, Mr. Anthony Ogbe, finally boarded the Air Peace flight MEN 212 and left a few minutes before 3 p.m. local time. 4 passengers were dropped over documentation issues. Of the 4, a South African woman and her children who were born to a Nigerian man were dropped because of her citizenship and illegal possession of a Nigerian emergency travel certificate instead of a passport and required visa.
The wait on Tuesday was a very long one, but wait, the evacuees and the mission officials did. From about 4 a.m. to 4 p.m.,
the way we have arranged it is such that people have the opportunity to be lifted based on how early they registered.
And by 7 p.m., most of them boarded the coaches to the airport where they spent the night. The Air Peace flight MEN 212 eventually arrived at the airport at 6 a.m. local time, and passenger processing began a bit later.
It's been very wonderful today because of the logistics preparations that we have had before coming to the airport this morning.
Among those leaving are those with valid documents, those with expired documents, and those without documents who were given emergency travel certificates by the missions. We also came across those without documents who have opted to stay on in South Africa, those who were affected by the violence who have opted to stay on in South Africa, and those who were not affected by the violence who have opted to go back to Nigeria. There is also a long waiting list. for the next likely flight.
Of course, we have over 500 online, which we have not processed for any flight, and they are registering on a daily basis. I'll wait for further directives from my minister at home, because he has told me to give him details of those that will be on the ground after this.
This second flight was much fuller than the first, and the names of those who were on the manifest who didn't show were quickly replaced by those on the reserve list. And processing at the airport was much smoother this time. But then there are even more names on the waiting list, and they have to wait much longer to know when and how they will go back to Nigeria. From the OR Tambo International Airport, Johannesburg, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the program. Egyptian masseur plays with fire to ease muscle pain. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.